Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina, and today I have 2.5 new products for review. I'm going to be returning, as promised, to the supply razor. This is the week in which I've used the number 1 and number 3 plate, which we'll talk about in just a moment. I am using a still in development shaving cream. This is version 14 of the Wholly Kaw shave cream, which I'll talk about in just a moment as well. And then I'm also using a Yaqi synthetic brush, which is the Sinbad knot in this very kind of interestingly colored, kind of amber colored hexagonal shape for the shaving brush. So let's talk about the razor first, and then we'll get into the shaving cream. So I've returned for a week of shaves with the supply razor. I have used the mild head, which the aggressiveness is donated. You can see it's denoted by that small circle there. So where there's only one dot there, that is number 1, 2 for 2, and 3 for 3. 3 being the most aggressive, 1 being the most mild. So I have the number 3 in here. It is the second shave on this blade. I actually almost made it through the week, but felt like that first blade, which was still the original from the first set of shaves, that was beginning to get kind of towards the end, so I figured might as well just go ahead and switch it out. Okay, let's talk about the soap before we start shaving. So this is a new shaving cream under development by Wholly Kaw. He's been kind enough to share some versions of this as it's gone through the development cycle. This is apparently very close to being finished. There's a bit of work still on things like the ways in which it will be packaged for the actual deliveries, whether it's tubs or pump or a tube or whatever else ends up coming out. This, I believe, is an unscented, essentially an unscented version, really just for testing purposes. It is a very soft, kind of aerated cream, so it was actually fuller in the container, but as you touch it with the brush, it sort of pushes it down a little bit. A very, very concentrated shaving cream that really focuses on 2 different pieces. One is just shaving cream performance as a shave soap, but then also has a variety of other ingredients that are really focused on kind of a different style for the post-shave skin feel, including collagen and a variety of other ingredients. So you can kind of put those 2 pieces of the puzzle together in the shaving product. A very concentrated shaving cream, which you use slightly differently than some, which I'll go through in just a moment. So let me get my face wet. As always, it's 2 days worth of growth. A pretty good shave on Friday. Rushing a little bit this week just because of work schedule. But I will say that for the supply razor, the number 1 head is very mild. If you're a daily shaver, but you just feel like your skin is very sensitive, or you just don't have that much hair to shave, you just want to kind of treat your skin to kind of a gentle touch, and you're looking at a supply razor, I would go for the number 1 base plate. It is very mild and very easy to use. The number 3, definitely more aggressive. You can definitely feel more of the blade, which I'll demonstrate in the spots where that occurs during the shave. All right, let's get on with the lathering. So Sinbad knot, which of course I've used before from AP Shave Co. A very, very nice knot. Good feel to it. A really nice mix of soft tips and sort of a bit of backbone. No real scritch to it. A very, very nice knot. So what you do for the shave cream, and this is a little bit difficult just because of the size of the container, so I'm going to take 2 different approaches, is you basically take essentially a dry brush. I have no water in here. I'm just going to sort of squeeze it together. And I'm only doing that because, of course, the opening is small, but I'm just going to rub it in there a little bit. You do not need a lot of soap, so I'm just kind of working it in there just to get some stuck on the tips a little bit. I need a little more than that. You can see it's starting to get on there a little bit. Just there we go. And I'm also going to take a little bit of the cream, and I'm just going to smear a touch, just a little bit on my face, just because the container is a little bit small to work the brush into. And there we go. There we go. That is plenty. Very concentrated shave soap, or the cream. So what happens now, dry brush, drip a bit of water on the brush, and the way the cream works is you begin to lather, and initially you're going to get that, and you can see what's happening to the brush, a very thick, dense paste. And so you are going to need to work some water into this. I'm just dribbling some water into the brush. still quite thick. Obviously, it's going to take quite a bit of water. You can see what's happening now. The brush is kind of sticking together. Sort of this pasty soap forms that, sort of makes it all cohere. All right, just adding a bit more water. It does have a lovely kind of soft, creamy feel to it already. You can see it's starting to build a bit of volume. More water. Yeah, I think for one of the previous iterations of the soap, I had the same issue and I just did not use enough water in the first couple shaves. So in that case, the soap just feels kind of overly dense or pasty, but that is very easily remedied. You just have to recognize how concentrated the soap is and how much water it needs. And you saw how little I put on the tips there. There we go. We're getting very close now. A little more water. Yeah, and you can feel it starting to thin out a little bit. Very nice, kind of soft feel to the soap. There we go. Done. Well, just started actually. All right, let's get shaving with the razor. So yeah, base plate number 3. Number 1, definitely for me as a daily shaver, a bit too mild, but a very, very comfortable shave, and certainly taking the hair off, don't get me wrong. The number 3 base plate, you can definitely feel a bit more of the blade. As you can see, just taking the hair off with no issues. And the nice thing about the head structure is that while this is definitely more aggressive than the 2, and certainly much more so than number 1, it doesn't feel aggressive on the face, which is a kind of a nice trade-off there. The other thing is that, like on number 2, razor is very efficient, so it is really taking the hair and the soap off. I definitely recommend a good slick soap with this razor. And the Wholly Kaw definitely is delivering on that front as well. First pass almost done. Mustache area. And right there is where you can feel a real difference between the 1, the 2, and the 3. Yeah, and of course you could switch heads during your shave if you wanted to do that, but it's a little fiddly. All right, I'm gonna rinse. Very nice thing about this cream, by the way, is that it rinses very cleanly. So I'm just going to scoop some of the stuff off the bottom of the brush. I'm going to add a touch of water again. The shaving cream is supposed to really be focused on sort of post-shave skincare, which I don't know about for you, but for me lately, I just really have to watch my skin. Need to continue to moisturize. I've had a couple of days where it just felt like skin was a little thin, maybe easily irritated. It could be work stress or just whatever, but it's just something you know to pay attention to. So definitely really appreciate the fact that where they can, soap makers are trying to find a good balance between slickness and skincare. I definitely understand the benefits of post-shave balms, but post-shave balm helps a lot, but what will not really fix is if you've overshaved or had a lot of irritation or just kind of a rough shave. In that case, you're trying to fix something, but you kind of slid too far one direction. All right, the across the grain pass. All of these shaves with the supply have been very easy to find the angle. Razor's easy to hold, not slippery in the hand at all. Exchanging a blade, even if you did it by taking the head off, in the scheme of things, is still pretty easy. I don't know that I'd want to fiddle with it mid-shave, but even if you didn't want to use the injector itself, still pretty easy to do. For me though, number 2 of these heads, spot on. The nice thing is that you do have the option to have different heads. In that case, if you, for example, are switching from, let's say, shaving twice a week, you need something a bit more aggressive, to having to shave every day, you need something more mild. At least you have the options there. Choking up a bit in the handle there because of the angle. Mustache. A little bit of blade feel there, but really not bad at all. Last pass. All right, get a bit more water on the brush. There we go. Need to catch that spot right there again. Yeah, I think it was, it may be on YouTube or on Reddit, but our dinosaur lover from Greece asked why I don't shave against the grain on the mustache area. One very simple reason: I just really hate the way it feels, and I don't feel it's necessary. It's one of those things where I just don't spend all day pushing my fingers against the direction of the hair growth to make sure that it's perfectly smooth. And the fact matter is that even if I did get it perfectly smooth, 5-6 hours later, there would already be some stubble there. So it's not really at all, at least for me, worth the unpleasant sensation, the possible irritation of having to go against the grain in my upper lip. I've lived it for a lot of people, it's really no problem. And there are some razors that are mild enough that it's really no issue at all for me to do, but normally speaking, I just don't bother. All right, against the grain. Nice light touch here. Very comfortable in that part of the shave, which is very nice. There are definitely enough razors that make that a little bit irritating. And I do try to vary the angle. So there are a lot of times when I'm shaving in this last pass where what I'm really doing is kind of mixing some against the grain and some across the grain. And you should try the same if you find yourself getting a lot of irritation or tugging in that last pass. And even though this is the more aggressive head, I feel like the 2 is giving me a better shave under my neck here, or under my jowl. Just a touch more comfortable, really. All right. Yeah, this would make a great choice. If I hadn't shaved for a week, number 3, I think would just, in that first pass, would just take off, 95% of it. Would be so easy. No overhang, obviously, so that makes this part of the shave very comfortable. Residual slickness on this cream is a little bit light, and I think that's in part because the razor is taking so much of it off. There's just really nothing left. It's very, very close to the skin. All right, now I learned, sort of corresponding back with the vendors, that I was rinsing this off, and for the post shave, what I was experiencing was it kind of takes a different trajectory. Easy for me to say after a very late night last night, by the way. I'll leave that story for next time, maybe. So what would happen is it rinse my face, it would feel a little dry, sort of very clean after the rinse, and then the post-shave quality would just sort of build and build and build. So you don't have this immediate sense of like kind of fatty or overly oily or kind of buttery. A very nice clean post-shave feel, and then your skin would slowly become more and more supple as sort of the time went on, which is actually interesting face feel. But what I found out was, in fact, what people are doing is they are taking a bit of the lather, whatever lather is left over, and I'm going to try that today. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm really interested to see how this works. A bit of live experimentation. Just rub this lather in, and then, rather than rinsing, is just to towel that off and leave a slight film of the soap on there, because it is shaving soap and also kind of a post-shave product in one. So let me do that, which I haven't tried before. We'll see how it goes. And there should be a slight film left. Make sure to get behind the ears as always. All right, let's see how we did there. Oh yeah, okay, that is interesting. That is definitely already better than rinsing. That has a slight layer of slickness and smoothness to it. No real dryness, no tightness or sort of tugging. And what's going to happen is slowly that suppleness is going to continue to build. Wow, very nice. Very, very nice. Man, well, this is one of those moments where I think, well, I should put post-shave balm on, but I haven't all week. I've actually left it exactly as it is to get a good feel for the post-shave quality. So it's funny, just you get into a routine about the way that you do it. And so in my head, once you're done shaving and you've sort of wiped your face or rinsed your face, reach for the balm or reach for the aftershave, which I haven't done all week, but like just the habit, the tradition of it, just a little switch clicks in your head, time for the aftershave, but not gonna do that today. All right, apologies for the slightly gravelly voice as well, by the way. There was a bit of having to yell over the exceedingly loud music. In fact, so loud that I had to use sign language to explain my order to the bartender. So, all right, let's go through the products for today. That was a very, very, very nice shave again. The supply razor. This is with the number 3 base plate, which is the most aggressive of the 3. I've used the 1 and the 3 all week. I'm happy to confirm that all 3 do in fact work well for me. In the range of things, I would 100% stick with the 2 as my favorite. The 1 is definitely quite mild. If you feel like you're over shaving or your skin is just a little bit irritated or you're kind of taking a break or you're being forced to shave too regularly, but you sort of have to, maybe the 1 is a better choice there. The 3 I would use for some of those, where it's been a couple days or maybe an extended period since you've shaved, go for the more aggressive. But this would not be my daily choice. I would 100% stick with the number 2. Overall, still very, very happy with that razor. For a single edge option today, I think that is an excellent choice. If you just want to sort of play it safe and go middle of the road, go for the number 2 base plate. You will absolutely not be disappointed. If you need one of the other 2 options, go for the pack, and you can get the double pack that has the 3 and the 1 in there. Okay, the shaving cream. I think this is going to be a really nice addition to the market as a whole. As I've said in earlier shaves, in terms of artisan shave creams, there's not that many to choose from. I think this is a really interesting take on what the shaving cream itself should provide, which is both a very good slick lather as well as really excellent post-shave quality. So I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product of this come out, because some of the scents from Wholly Kaw as well are just fantastic. Very nice stuff, as I said, very concentrated shaving cream. So when you first start using it, just be aware of the fact that you need to start adding water in relatively quickly, because you're going to end up otherwise in what feels like kind of a frustrating, very pasty, thick, dense cream. That's not going to last at all. As you saw, it was very easy to build it into a very nice, simple, clean lather. It just takes a bit more water than you might expect normally. So if you have a chance to try this, make sure to add enough water into that lather. You're going to be quite happy with the outcome. And then finally, the 24 millimeter Sinbad synthetic knot from Yaqi. This was sent for review along with a few others. I've got some others coming up. The hexagonal handle is kind of cool because the light does come through it, so that's kind of a neat feature. I'm not totally sold on the shape, in the sense that the flared bottom, you have sort of these points, which although you can hold it, it's not as comfortable in the hand as I think some of the more rounded bottoms are. It does make it very stable, obviously, if you're just standing it up, and it has this indent if you are actually putting it inside a brush stand, which of course I don't do, but I know that many of you do in fact use those. All right, that's it. There's no aftershave to review, because as I said, I'm not using that. Man, that is pretty nice. Well, as always, thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these videos. I really appreciate the time you're taking as well to put the questions and comments in those. I'll try to get back to them as quickly as I can. I realize that they're building up again. But as always, please continue to post questions and comments. I love reading through them. I love sort of the people replying to each other. It's always really, really heartening to see. Thank you so much again for watching. And until next time, goodbye.